Hey guys. So, as many of you have seen, this is the axle that this is the axle that didn't quite survive the other night. So that's off. That's a Yoda 2 axle, RC 4-wheel drive. So what happened is, these are the cups that go in the end of it that go into the dog bone that goes out to your wheel, and the piece just kind of separated off the end, both sides. So when that happened, it split open the axle, taking out the screw hole as well on the top for where the knuckle goes in. So that axle is useless now. It's just got spare parts in it. So what I got to do is, or what I did was I picked up a new axle and a set of the XVDs from RC 4-wheel drive. These run me about $160 for the two of them from Action Hobby here in Calgary. But before I get into that, before we get into that, I'll just talk about ironing real quick. The axles that are on Relic is the same thing. I was looking for a good set of aluminum axles for this guy, and although I love these axles, they're kick-ass. I haven't broken them yet. They're really tough. Made by Boom. The gears are reversible as well. That's why the pumpkin's so big. But as soon as I bought those, a week later the fat axles came out. I got the, well, was it last year? I think it was just in the fall, really. It wasn't that long ago. I got the RC 4-wheel drive short wheelbase chassis. Although this bad boy comes with mostly upgraded parts, like the drive shafts come with the Punisher shafts. I haven't broke one of them yet. She's all steel, everywhere steel except for the spur gear, and I haven't burned the spur gear yet, so no complaints there. But when I got that, or after I got that, I broke the axle. I looked for axles, couldn't find anyone who made better ones, and of course most of you know that now Boom has them out. And then of course after I bought the chassis, Boom came out with a short wheelbase chassis that fits this body, because I couldn't find one. The CC1 is really, although tough as nails, not very capable. Even with a shitload of modding, it's still a pain in the ass tub chassis. So I ended up going with the RC 4-wheel drive one. $600 Canadian, no body, no electronics. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's a beautiful rig once it's all set up. And then, for me, that's the definition of irony. Every time I buy something, Boom comes out with something better, and it's like, come on, guys, damn it. I love their stuff, but your timing is terrible. So anyways, let me reset the camera down here, and, well, first what I'm going to do is crack into this bad boy. And I'll get a little better view of the stuff here. Yeah, that should work. Maybe I should be wearing my headlamp. So we'll get this out of there. Nothing else in there. Let's put that over there. Shit, sorry TJ. There's a dog down there. Sorry baby. Some foam. Keep that away from the dogs. So there's a new axle. No steering linkage. That's okay. All the screws seem to be there, but trust no one, right? That's like a big motto for me, is anytime you buy aluminum or steel things, anything, knuckles, C's, axles, whatever, and the diff as well, crack them open, because no one's going to do a better job than you do, right? So you got to get this thing apart, make sure everything's Loctited, get marine grease in there. I always run the Pro Boat marine grease from Pro Boat, yeah. Pro Boat marine grease, I love that stuff, it works really good. So I'm going to get that in there. So, I'll be back in a few minutes, because you don't need to watch me disassemble this thing. I'm going to disassemble it, show you how I grease it. I'll show you what's inside, because I don't know what's inside yet. We'll see. Like, it feels fantastic, of course, but who knows if it's dry or they just put black grease in it. But we'll get this thing open, and we'll get it ready for the truck. Okay, so I got most of it cracked open. I was just in the midst of taking the screws out of the one side, and yes, there is no Loctite in there. So chances are I probably would have lost a screw. And there's different sizes of screws. The longer one goes in the bottom, shorter one on the top. And any guys who own one of these probably know that already. There goes one of the shoulders. So these guys come out right away. They're not going back in. So there's the same part I broke that I'm replacing with the XVDs. So that comes out. No, I won't be sending that out to anybody. It's going to go in the backpack. And if I can help somebody on the trail, that's what will go down. Actually, I'll leave that on there. Throw some tape around it. That'll stay on there. And then, yeah, I already got the axle off, or the cover off. So that's what that looks like inside there. Again, I still need more light. Hopefully that's a good enough view for you guys. But that's what they had for grease in there. Just a wee little bit. I don't recognize it. It's like a yellowish greenish color. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed my headlamp just because I'm really hoping it helps with the light. So yeah, hopefully it's a better view for you guys. I can't see the screen right now because if I change the angle of the screen, it just blacks out. I don't know if the camera's screwy or what. So yeah, there's a little bit of grease in there. Not a heck of a lot, but it's in there. I'm going to not fill it, but give it a good dose of marine grease in there. So I'm going to continue on with removing these screws out. I'll get the XVDs out of the package, and I will Loctite up these screws. And yeah, it's just a dab, right? It's not shaft lock, it's thread lock. You just need a drop on there, and we'll let this thing set, and it'll go back on, and everything will be aces, I hope. But if these things break again, or if I get the extra cash and have play money, which usually doesn't happen, I will definitely be getting myself those new boom fat axles for this thing, because those things are sweet. Okay, so any of you guys who've seen any of my build/repair videos before, you guys know that I make mistakes. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. Most of the stuff I do is by trial and error. I try and find other people's videos first to give me guidance, but I didn't look this one up because I figured it's going to be pretty easy. But I screwed up earlier. I mentioned that there's a longer screw and a shorter screw, which there is. And there's the two different size of hats. The screen's upside down on the camera again. I gotta work with that. So you get two different sizes of those guys in there as well. But I screwed up. The longer screw obviously is going to go into that side there, and then the shorter one on that one. And same thing with the hats, one there and one there, the little top hats. Let's bust into these bad boys. Actually, I probably grease the diff and put that back together. I don't know if I should Loctite those little screws, because I'm worried that if I Loctite them, I won't be able to get them out and end up stripping them and be mad, really mad at them. But then there's also if I lose screws, I'll be very disappointed in myself as well, so, pardon me. Let's start with some rain grease and dog hair. Dog hair is great for diffs, man, I tell you. Get as much in there as you can. A little bit of Molly never hurt anybody. Except that one dog. I'm kidding. Yeah, so I just use this little applicator. This thing's great. I love it. A little bit more. Should be great. Just great. So it smooths out in there because it's touching that inner part that that I don't know. It's just a solid, well, the front diff cover, right? Because it's shaped like that, so that part's smoothing that out. We'll get this guy back in here first. Get all those little screws to go back in, and then I'll slap the XVDs in, and we'll get this thing reinstalled into the truck here. It'll happen quick on video, just not in my time. So, while I had the camera shut off, my good old buddy Ricky showed up. He's outside enjoying the sun. Dude's a bit of a freak. It's 30 degrees in Calgary, kind of the reason I'm doing this. Normally I'd be out on the trail when it's nice, but almost 30 degrees. Too hot for this guy. So I decided to do this instead. It needed to be done. I had the parts kicking around, or not kicking around, but they came in. So yeah, I'm just going to get on that. So I got the XVDs out. So there's what they look like. Typical stuff, you know. The pin looks a decent size. I don't know how well that you guys can see that. Again, I wish I had better lighting. Wait a minute. Let's see. Wham! So there's what that looks like. The pin is bigger than the usual ones, and when I say the usual ones, I've had run-ins before with the Axials and the Vanquish. Both weak pins, constantly fixing them, changing them. Didn't come with the bearings on it, but that's okay. I will slide the bearing off the one that came on it. You put that on there. Boom. That fits nicely. That's the long side. Get that in there. Good fit, as it should be. Get the other one. I really hope this solves the problem, but again, if they break, I'm totally going to the booms. Get those in there. I know this kind of stuff is not exciting in any way, shape, or form. So, next step, putting the shoulders back into the knuckles, getting the knuckles on. Oh yeah, and earlier I mentioned that I make mistakes and stuff. I should have pulled these off before I pulled them off the truck, because now you have to get a pair of pliers on there and or whatever and loosen those off. So I'm going to do that. I'll get the Loctite and blah blah blah, and then we'll get this thing back on the Jeep and possibly do a test on the rocks out there. The steering link bar is still in there. I just took the old knuckles off. I don't know how smooth this is going to go, because let's face it, I am not the king of builders out there in any way. So we get, of course, Loctite. Everything. Loctite is your friend. Okay, so the steering link bar is still in there. I just took the old knuckles off. I don't know how smooth this is going to go, because let's face it, I am not the king of builders out there in any way. So we get, of course, Loctite. Everything. Loctite is your friend. Put that guy on there first. Get that in there. Now you guys probably have different methods of doing stuff. I'm just kind of trying to get the axle suspended with the steering first. Then I'll get the suspension going. It might be easier to do the suspension first, but I'm just hacking away at this, and this is how I'm going to do it. A little bit of Loctite. That's all you need. Sometimes you use too much and you go to get it off and oh my god, what have I done? Just thinking. I still have the same amount of steering throw, but I had to turn the steering down before, because I think that's what caused the cup to open up on me when I broke them. Okay, so luckily Rookie's here, because he always corrects me. He's a very smart guy. Always helpful. Okay, so let's go over it real quick. Don't forget that there's that little curve to those pieces. And you know if I'm in frame. There we go. So there's that little curvature to those pieces. You got to make sure you get them on the right way. So you get one on below and one on top, because the axle itself is flat. You think you could have skipped that step by putting in a curved piece. Maybe I should have done the springs first, but I left the springs on the truck. This is going to be a lot of fun to line up. Trying to find the hole. Can't get one in the way. So much fun. I love this. Favorite part, I swear. Get already Loctite in there. Threading. How was the sun? Man in jeans, 30 degrees. Crazy.
It's a perfectly fine spring day.
I think we're into summer now, aren't we?
In June, yeah. Or is it June 21st is summer solstice?
You would probably know better than me. I'm happy if I can remember what day of the week it is, let alone the actual date and when things happen. It's like if somebody asked me, do you know what day Christmas is on this year? It's the 25th, man. Alright, so that's it. Everything's back in there. Marine greased into the diff, new diff, right? And then everything's Loctited, both the knuckles. I got all the shoulders in there. Loctited the screws that hold the springs into the axle. The wheels that come with it, don't run these, so they weren't necessary. It's weird how they come with it, and these are the stock wheels for it, but they still send hexes. Weird. I guess if they didn't send them, somebody else would complain about that. Alright, so good to go. I'm not going to test it tonight because, again, it's stupid hot out. But thanks for watching. So there's the XVDs in there. This thing will be back out on the trail soon just so I can see how well they work. I'll beat the hell out of them. Again, the pins look good inside. They're bigger than the Axial or the Vanquish ones. So everything should be good now. But if not, we're off to boom racing territory. Alright, thanks for watching.